Hello and welcome to the next video, Still Life. What is a still life, you ask? Well, it is simply just an inanimate object in any image, which is great for a beginner or just to practice because it does not move and we can pick and choose what we want to study. A still life is something everyone has seen, whether it's a painting of a flower or the cliche fruit bowl. We can set up inanimate objects to draw and paint them from life, or you can simply study a photo to help you understand things. We can observe the texture of a rock, the lighting of how a sphere will look under different light sources, or we can just make a cool picture. I want to have fun and make a cool picture and show how we can use some of the tools I mentioned in the previous observation video. If you have not checked out the observation video, go check that out, but I will go over it in this video again really quick. We have envelope and blocking, measurements, angles, alignments, mark placement, and implied lines. The fun thing with this is we can set up and change things the way we want to and focus on making what we want to learn fun. So let me jump into this image. We have different objects like the gemstone, where we can see how the texture looks. We have metal pots to see the way the texture of metal looks and how light affects the surface with its hard edges. The cloth everything is sitting on is great too to see how folds work and is a great practice for values. All the things I mentioned are what I wanted to focus on for a practice and demonstrate in this video. I will make videos for things like texture, value, and lighting because they are in-depth subjects. But for now, I'm going to let this video I recorded play and talk about some things to keep in mind. A great practice is to just sit and observe the image for a few minutes or for an hour to see what you think and how you might want to approach things. You can write those things down if you want to. I'm using all my observation tools to block in this image and place things where I want them to go. I'm always keeping in mind that I don't want to make it exactly perfect, but get it close and enjoy the process. You don't want to get stuck on small things like exact placement because we can go back and change things later. I'm more focused on practicing all the textures of things and how the values and colors look. So I'm not trying to make a really nice line drawing here because I planned on making this a finished painting. There are a lot of things going on here that will not make sense to a newer artist, but I will get to those certain things in future videos. This is just my approach to the painting, but you can just go straight into painting or just make a black and white line drawing if that's what you want to practice. I'm using all the observation techniques like tick marks just to get the placement before I paint it. I'm also trying not to use all the great tools in Photoshop because when I'm doing a still life, I want to get better. So I'm hand drawing and trying to pick colors by what my eye sees. Even if things are not perfect, remember that this is just practice and you're trying to better yourself as an artist. I can paint this painting 5 times and try to focus on just certain little things, or spend 5 hours on it to just practice all the endless tools we need as artists. One thing I learned over the years after giving up on so many paintings is to not give up, but to keep going because it will come together once you get through what I call the ugly phase. And you can see I struggle with the cloth and the perspective is off quite a bit, but that is the point, to find your mistakes and improve on them. You can see my paintbrush window is probably filled with 100 brushes, but I try to limit myself in paintings to a few brushes just to keep things consistent. And I use some texture brushes to save time. At the end of the painting or drawing, it helps to take a nice long look at it to see where you struggled and where you can improve. Compare it side by side, take a step back, or get mad and just go up to file and then hit new. Wait, really, it's nice to just sit down and paint sometimes, and that's what it's all about, the still life. Okay, no more lame jokes. So, with that, it would be hard to capture a running dog in a painting or paint the light in a landscape with the sun moving as the day goes by. And it's a great time we live in to have cameras and endless images on the internet to study from. I think it's fun to stage objects, then take pictures of the endless things we have to learn from on our planet. I'm not going to mention a book in this video because this is something I think should be fun, and it doesn't have to be anything but just fun. An exercise for this video is to practice a still life and get out your comfort zone and do something that you may not draw or paint a lot, and see what challenges you run into. You can simply just look at your hand and try to copy it, which is a challenge. Again, please like, subscribe, share, and take care.